The first episode of Two Twits and Twain, entitled Ne'er the Twain Shall Meet, is about to commence. Brace yourselves. There is a rumor that Mark Twain himself has reincarnated, at least in the studios of Two Twits and Twain. Are the rumors of his appearance just as errant as once were the rumors of his demise? Stay tuned to find out. Hello, everybody. I'm Doc, one of the Two Twits, and I'm so happy you're joining us today on the first of many Two Twits and Twain broadcasts. We hope you feel entertained and get a few laughs over the next 15 or so minutes. But as our show's title so cleverly indicates, I'm not alone. Let me introduce Clark, Twit number 2, who just happens to be chomping at the bit to say hi.
Hello, Doc, and hello, lucky listeners. We two twits are so pleased to have you with us for a little, twit of fun.
Please excuse him. I'm not responsible for anything he says.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, if I may continue, what's this all about? I suppose you listeners must be asking. It's a good question, and a good place to start, and I'll leave it to Doc to fill in the details.
Oh, it is an amazing story. Let me take you back. One day, I was gazing out of my window, musing, as twits often do, and I was thinking of how much I'd love to do a podcast one day, but with someone I really like, and who doesn't mind, and, in fact, loves talking and having fun. Well, as that thought filled my mind, I suddenly heard Clark's voice, acknowledging my desire. It went something like this.
In far off France I heard your call.
Yes, Doc, I picked up that thought, and I couldn't wait to start. Well, that's where I am right now, in far-off France. Only something like 5,000 or 6,000 miles from Colorado. But we weren't going to let that stop us. That tiny detail could never separate two lovable twits. I wanted in on this deal, and I was hooked. Hook, line, and hope we don't stinker.
Oh, all of that wasn't by accident. I've had the privilege to know and perform next to Clark for almost 50 years.
And, yes, a privilege it's been for me too, Doc. No, seriously. And we won't have many of those moments. We've been best friends for all these years. Of course, we started when we were 6. I hope the younger crowd can appreciate what we're doing.
Forget about it. All we want to do is attract people who love music, love having fun, enjoy some wit and wisdom from time to time, and might feel good learning something from a couple of old farts. Age is of no significance. Hey, before we go any further, I need to clear something up. It has to do with Clark's rather resonant voice and the obvious balance difference between the two of us. Much of that is because it's just the way his voice sounds. Some is due to the audio connection between Colorado and France. This is being recorded in Colorado, so his voice does tend to pick up a bit of sonority as it rolls with the waves across the Atlantic. Don't think anyone's buying that.
Okay. But I think we need to explain something. How does that third T, this Twain fellow, enter the picture?
Good question. Now, when I was giving some thought to this podcast, which has been in the planning stage for many, at least 3 weeks, I really wanted a third name in the title. And since we were both fans of the literary prowess and wit and wisdom of Samuel Clemens or Mark Twain, it was an easy choice.
That's true, Doc. But really, what has that got to do with anything? I mean, he's hardly available. Mr. Twain has not been with us for over 100 years.
Well, hold your horses, Clark. I'm excited because I've been informed by what is supposed to be a reliable source that Mark Twain is supposed to show up Here.
Where's here?
Well, colorful Colorado, of course, and apparently this is not an impersonator, but more like a reincarnation.
What? Doc, what have you been smoking? Oh, though I hear it is legal in Colorado.
Dead serious. And I used that term literally.
You mean it's Hal Holbrook, the great Twain impersonator?
No. He insisted it would be better than Hal. It would actually be, like I said, the reincarnation of Mr. Mark Twain.
Oh, sure. Now I know you've been indulging.
Yeah, I bet that's what you think. And that's what I said, more or less, to my source. But, and don't get on my case just in case it doesn't happen here. Anyway, he insisted that he could make it happen. That's why my source didn't want to be identified, just in case it doesn't happen.
Are you sure your source wasn't a souse? What a crazy story. That guy must be a nutcase. To think we'd believe that. He must think we're a couple of twits.
We are. But to be honest with you, twit number 2, I feel the same way. So let's not get our hopes up. I really think I'll be the most surprised.
Hey, Doc, you and I have talked about doing something together. Maybe not a podcast, but something for a long time. Remember when we first started talking about doing a real show? Radio, TV, whatever. Dare I say it, almost 50 years ago? Hey, can you take us back again? Before the guest arrives. Take us back to yesteryear, when we first had that thought. Take us back.
Yes, I remember it plainly. We were in a very unaccustomed position, sipping scotch together. It was then that one of us said, I think it was me, we ought to be on the radio.
That's right. And I said, damn it, Doc, you're right.
Hey, Clark, what do you think about us doing our own radio show? We're young and handsome and talented and...
Whoa, Doctor, our own radio show?
That's right, radio.
Well, I know that we possess all of those qualities that you rattled off, but who'd want to listen to us? You know, they might end up calling us a couple of twits.
Well, we might need some help to escape that epithet. Maybe a famous personality could join us.
But, Doc, you never did tell me who that famous personality would be. And now, all these years later, when we finally have the gumption and goofy confidence that our dotage gives us, you're telling me that we do have that person. And, of course, it's Mark Twain.
Well, maybe.
But then I remember you said we ought to be on TV. Sure, TV. But then I said to you, which of those 3 channels would have us?
Clark, we're not that old. Well, maybe. Anyway, now there are lots of channels. But as a wise man once said, I've got 150 channels, but nothing's on.
Ah, Doc, but then there occurred that one golden moment.
Explain.
TV. QVC, the home shopping channel.
Hey, yes, we did that. With the fabulous formaldehydes. National TV to boot. We even did it in London. Love that a cappella doo-wop music. I want you in the night when I want you to hold me tight whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream, 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 dream.
By the way, what does QVC stand for?
I don't know. Quiet vocal choir? Or maybe it's French. Quelle voix Clark? Or real American like quit vying for cash? Or...
Anyway, Doc, so we got on TV before we got on the radio.
Yes, exactly. It was a bit bass-ackwards.
And we're still not on the radio.
So we're still bass-ackwards?
Yeah, afraid so. A bit twittish.
Oh, not too surprising. Anywho, here we are on a podcast. Hopefully we'll be casting pods for a long time to come, Clark.
Yes, with some colorful memories, no doubt. Doc, I think it's time to clue our audience in a bit more about who we are. Not too much, mind you. They're going to find out lots more as they listen, so let's just give them a very short history. By the way, for the masochists in the listening audience, you can actually read our bios on the website www.twotwitsandtwain.com. That's two, T-W-O, twitsandtwain.com. You can read our histories. Have fun. Hey, Doc, you want me to go first?
Go for it.
I was born in Des Moines, Iowa, my precursor to living in France. Well, in name only. Then I went to Notre Dame, worked in Chicago. Then almost 50 years ago, lost in Omaha. Started singing all over the place. Owned a travel agency. Still lost in Omaha. Formed the fabulous Formaldehydes. Got out of Omaha. Went to San Diego. Got married. Me, that is. Got divorced. No, Doc, that is. Moved to France. Me, that is. Moved to Colorado. Doc, that is. Blah, blah, blah. Wasn't that fascinating, Doc?
Well, I'm impressed. Hope nobody fell asleep during that diatribe.
Okay, Mr. Docky, your turn. Wake me up when you're finished.
Born and raised in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Yep, I'm a cheesehead, Green Bay Packer fan through and through. Went to the University of Wisconsin, where I had deluded ambitions of becoming a concert pianist. Girls were more important than practicing 6 hours a day. Went into theater, and then wound up in the travel industry, where I met Clark in Omaha, where we performed a lot. You've already been privy to the term Fabulous Formaldehydes, a doo-wop group that we began, traveled 2 continents, had a ball for 5 years at www.fab42.com. Yeah, you'll be hearing more about that. Spent some time in construction and marketing, conducted national public speaking workshops, authored a book, but always kept my finger in music and theater. Directed choral groups and Broadway musicals for over 40 years with full orchestras. Oh, it was fun. But the Fab Four with Clark, that was the most fun. And here we are today.
Hey, Doc, is that sound coming from your end?
I don't think so. Let me check. It might be the mailman. Clark, you are not going to believe this. I don't know if I can believe it.
Believe what?
Hello. Please excuse me. I believe I've been sent to the wrong place. I was supposed to be given a eulogy for a Myrtle Finkelbein, and this doesn't look like a funeral to me.
No, this isn't a funeral, but are you who I think you are?
My name is Sam. Samuel Clemens. Most people know me as Mark Twain. Now, you might remember that there were rumors circulating about my demise. Well, they weren't rumors, and they weren't exaggerated. I'm dead.
I'm having a hard time getting my head around this, but through a strange set of circumstances, we were sort of expecting you. Here, come over here. Have a seat.
Doc, I can't see. What's going on?
Well, it appears that my reliable souse may have just delivered the goods. Hold on. If you really are Mark Twain, where did you come from?
Well, I don't rightly know. They say that when you die, you either go to heaven for the climate or hell for the company. Well, the climate is right nice, sort of like Hawaii. And the company? Well, 'tain't bad, mostly. At any rate, it's been a long trip, and I'm a bit tired, so why should I stay here?
You're here to talk. I understand you quite enjoy that pastime.
Well, I enjoy it as long as I'm talking to people who listen to me and who have an imagination. That is my only condition for staying around for a while. You must use your imagination.
Clark, did you hear that? What do you say?
Doc, I can't see. What's going on?
Okay, just a second.
Doc, can you text me a picture of him?
The camera on my phone isn't working. It's not able to capture any image of our guest. This is strange.
Okay, well, I believe he's there with that voice. This is crazy. Well, can I ask a question of Mr. Twain?
Go right ahead, young fella.
Why do we have to use our imagination?
Well, because I said so. Imagination is a precious thing. Why, it peoples the earth with all manner of wonders, strange beasts, birds, angels, cherubim, and seraphim, and it must be exercised. No child should be permitted to grow up without exercise for imagination. It enriches life. It makes things beautiful and wonderful and exciting. You cannot depend on your judgment when your imagination is out of focus.
You have an amazingly persuasive nature about you, Mr. Twain.
I've been told that.
We also understand that you're a musician. You've kept that well hidden.
Well, I never thought I was good enough, but I do play the banjo.
Wow. Well, I hope to hear that sometime. I still can't believe you're here. And seeing you in person, well, sort of. This has been incredible.
Well, it is hard to resist the call of two twits.
And I can tell you, I'm all a twitter. I'd love for us to keep going, but Doc has just signaled that our allotted time is up for this very first podcast of the Twits. But listeners, Doc and I will be doing this again. And hey, Mr. Twain, would you be willing to join us again? We've only scratched the surface, and we'd love to hear more from you. Perhaps you could even play your banjo next time.
I'm usually willing to try new things, and this podcast thing certainly qualifies. The most important issue for me is that you two gentlemen are eminently qualified as credible conversationalists. So the answer is perhaps. It all depends if you can get a message to me regarding your next session. Good luck.
I'll ask my friend if he can act as a conduit.
Oh, you mean George?
Yes, I suppose.
Sounds like the cat's out of the bag, Doc. George?
Well, half out. There happen to be lots of Georges in this world.
All right, are we through? I've been traveling a fur piece, and it's time for my nap. Looking forward to our next time together.
Did you hear that? He'll be back.
Well, Doc, I don't know what to say. What a treat. But what the heck just happened?
I'm not sure, but he did show up, and I must confess that even though my source said it might happen, I never thought the Twain I'd meet.
Oh, well, we'll have some time to recover from this extraordinary appearance of Mark Twain before our next episode, when he just about promised he might return.
So right. And speaking of next time, we'd love to hear from you at contact@twotwitsandtwain.com. That's TWO. And when you get there, just press the button to be added to our list of followers, and you'll be the first to know when the next episode is ready to hear or download. And don't forget to tell your friends about the Two Twits and Twain.
Well said, Doc.
We understand that many of you would like to follow or review each podcast in written format. As a result, a transcript of each podcast has been provided for your viewing. It's available on our website at www.twotwitsandtwain.com under the Info tab appearing next to each podcast. It also provides the opportunity to easily refer to various websites or other items of interest mentioned during the podcast.
So, until next time, I'm Clark.
And I'm Doc. Until next time, and stay connected with your imagination. From Two Twits and Twain.